Okay, hello, hello. Yes, here we go. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, perfect. Hello, okay. Okay, here we go. So if an elevator isn't working, what do we have to do? If an elevator isn't working, what do we have to do? If an elevator isn't working, we have to take the stairs. Do you think it's possible to tell a person's character just by looking at their face? Do you think it's possible to tell a person's character just by looking at their face? Yes, I think it's possible to tell a person's character just by looking at their face. Can we often tell somebody where somebody comes from by their accent? Can we often tell where somebody comes from by their accent? Yes, we can often tell where somebody comes from by their accent. Accent. Very good. When you arrive at the hotel, where do you check in? When you arrive at the hotel, where do you check in general? When you arrive at the hotel, you check in at the reception desk. No, reception desk. And what does the receptionist hand you when you finish checking in? And what does the receptionist hand you when you finish checking in? The receptionist hands you the key to the room when you finish checking in. On the day you leave a hotel, what time do you usually have to check out by? On the day you leave a hotel, what time do you usually have to check out by? On the day you leave a hotel, you have to check out by noon. By noon. You have to check out. You have usually to check out by noon. At the airport, do you usually check in? At the airport, do you usually check in all your luggage, or do you carry some of it onto the plane with you? At the airport, do you usually check in all your luggage, or do you carry some of it onto the plane with you? At the airport, I usually carry some of my luggage onto the plane with me. If someone says things about you which are not true, do you think it's better to defend yourself or just keep quiet? If someone said things about you which are not true, do you think it's better to defend yourself or just keep quiet? If someone says things about me which are not true, I think it's better to defend myself. On what occasions do we say congratulations to people? On what occasions do we say congratulations to people? We say congratulations to people when they pass an exam, get married, have a baby, etc. Good. Okay. Hello, Angel. You were. Come here. Do you like to see two cars racing each other along the road? Do you like to see two cars racing each other along the road? Yes, I like to see two cars racing each other along the road. Could you race me to the station and back without stopping? Could you race me to the station and back without stopping? No, I couldn't race you to the station and back without stopping. If you run, if you run in a race against a horse, who'd win? If you run in a race against a horse, who'd win? If I run in a horse, in a race against a horse, the horse win. Very good. Do you think that when a man murders someone, he really realizes what he's doing at the time and realizes the consequences of his actions? Do you think that when a man murders someone, he really realizes what he's doing at the time and realizes the consequences of his actions? No, I don't think that when a man murders someone, when a man murders someone, he really realizes what he's doing at the time and realizes the consequences of his actions. Did you realize that in some large cities in the world there are more rats than people? Did you realize that in some large cities in the world there are more rats than people? Yes, I realized that in some large cities of the world there are more rats than people. Have you got an ambition? No, I haven't got an ambition. Do you think you will, I'm sorry. When the past tense of a regular verb ends in DED or TED, how do we pronounce the final sound? When the past tense of a regular verb ends in DED or TED, how do we pronounce the final sound? When the past tense of a regular verb ends in DED, in DED or TED, we pronounce the final sound it. Very good. Give me the past tense of include. Include. Give me the past tense of lasted. Give me the past tense of ended. Give me the past tense of or wanted, or wanted. Yeah. When the past tense of a regular verb does not end in DED or TED, how do we pronounce the final sound? When the past tense of a regular verb doesn't end in DED or TED, how do we pronounce the final sound? When the past tense of a regular verb doesn't end in DED or TED, we pronounce the final sound and sound t or d. Very good. Let's come up with t or d. Okay. Give me the past tense of cross. Give me the past tense of seemed. Give me the past tense of watched. Give me the past tense of walked. Very good. What does the verb to lead mean? The verb to lead means guiar. Yeah. Very good. What are the three forms of lead? The three forms of lead are lead, led. Can you please close the door, please? There's a lot of noise. Yeah. Thank you. Good. Okay. If I traveled north along the main road leading out of this city, what did it lead me to? If I traveled north along the main road leading out of this city, what did it lead me to? If you traveled north along the main road leading out this city, it'll lead you to Circassia. Very good. If it were nighttime and very dark, and we came to an old house standing alone in the country, which we thought might be full of ghosts, would you be willing to lead the way into the house? If it were nighttime and very dark, and we came to an old house standing alone in the country, which we thought might be full of ghosts, would you be willing to lead the way into the house? No, no. If it were nighttime and very dark, and we came to an old house standing alone in the country, which we thought might be full of ghosts, I wouldn't be willing to lead the way into the house. Why not? Because it's scary. Yeah. Would you say you'd led a fairly comfortable life? Yes. I'd say I'd led a fairly comfortable life. When we're talking about the future, when do we use the word eventually? When we're talking about the future, when do we use the word eventually? When we're talking about the future, we use the word eventually when we know that something is going to happen, but we don't know when. Translate this, please. Eventualmente seré capaz de hablar inglés muy bien. I will eventually be able to speak English very well. Will it eventually rain again? Yes, it'll eventually rain again. When? We don't know. Very good. If you had a car and you didn't take care of it, what did eventually happen? If you had a car and you didn't take care of it, what did eventually happen? If I had a car and I didn't take care of it, it'd eventually break down. When a car breaks down, are you any good at making it go again? When a car breaks down, are you any good at making it go again? No. When a car breaks down, I'm not any good at making it go again. Do you think cell phones now? That one is old question. When we are talking about the past, what does the word eventually mean? When we are talking about the past, what does the word eventually mean? When we are talking about the past, the word eventually means after all that or in the end. India, very good. Translate this, Ángel. Él vivió en diferentes países por muchos años, pero eventualmente se compró una casa en Inglaterra. He lived in different countries for many years, but eventually bought a house in England. Very good. Do you have to supply your own pen and paper for doing dictations, or does the school supply you with them? Do you have to supply your own pen and paper for doing dictations, or does the school supply you with them? I have to supply my own pen and paper for doing dictation. Do you know where the city gets its water supply from? Do you know where the city gets its water supply from? No?
No.
Oh, yes. No. No, I don't know. I don't know where this city gets its water supply from. If you put a piece of iron onto water, would it float? If you put a piece of iron onto water, would it float? No. If I put a piece of iron onto water, it wouldn't float. It'd sink. What are the three forms of sink? What are the three forms of sink? The three forms of sink are sink, sank, sunk. When did the Titanic sink? When did the Titanic sink? The Titanic sank in 1912. Do clouds float across the sky when it's a very windy day? Do clouds float across the sky when it's a very windy day? No, clouds don't float across the sky when it's a very windy day. When it's a very windy day, they race across the sky. Very good. Translate this, please. Cojamos un tren más temprano hacia el aeropuerto para estar en el lado seguro, por si las moscas. Let's catch an earlier train to the airport to be on the safe side. Do you always carry an umbrella in winter just to be on the safe side? Do you always carry an umbrella in winter just to be on the safe side? No, I don't always carry an umbrella in winter just to be on the safe side. Very good. Do you think that one day in the future, one country will conquer all the others? Do you think that one day in the future, one country will conquer all the others? Do you think that one day, will conquer, conquistar?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that one day in the future, one country will conquer all the others. Very good. What's the difference between high tide and low tide? What's the difference between high tide and low tide? The difference between high tide and low tide, low tide. Very good. Is that high tide is when the sea comes into the land, and low tide is when it goes out, away from the land. Did the Greek Empire come before or after the Roman Empire? Did the Greek Empire come before or after the Roman Empire? The Greek Empire came before the Roman Empire. Who do you think is the greatest literary figure of today in your country? Who do you think is the greatest literary figure of today in your country? I think Gabon is the greatest literary figure of today in my country. How is your country governed? How is your country governed? My country is governed by a president and the Senate, the Senators. Okay. What's the difference between a few and few? What's the difference between a few and few? Alex, look at me, please, don't get distracted. What's the difference between a few and few? The difference between a few and few is that a few simply means not many, whereas few often expresses the idea of not enough or fewer than expected. What do we mean if we say there were few people at the party last night? What do we mean if we say there were few people at the party last night? If we say there were few people at the party last night, we mean that there were not enough people at the party, or that there were fewer people than expected. or than we had expected. Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had few friends? Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had few friends? Yes, te fuiste, estaba bien por allá en el mar. Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had, they had few friends? Yes, I'd feel sorry. I feel sorry for someone who said that they had few friends. Very good. Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had a few friends? Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had a few friends? No, I wouldn't feel sorry for someone who said they had a few friends. In the city, are there few good restaurants, a few good restaurants, or many good restaurants? In the city, are there few good restaurants, a few good restaurants, or many good restaurants? In the city, there are a few good restaurants. Good. What's the difference between a little and little? What's the difference between a little and little? The difference between a little and little is that a little simply means not much, whereas little often expresses the idea of not enough or less than expected. Very good. What do I mean if I say I have little milk in my refrigerator? What do I mean if I say I have little milk in my refrigerator? If you say you have little milk in your refrigerator, you mean that you don't have enough milk in your refrigerator. Do you think you have little free time, a little free time, or a lot of free time? Do you think you have little free time, a little free time, or a lot of free time? I think I have
a lot of
free time. Okay, good. What am I doing? This is the table. What am I doing? You're pressing your thumb on the table. Yeah, pressing your thumb. What does this sentence mean? I had to press him for the money I lent him. What does this sentence mean? I had to press him for the money I lent him. That sentence means that I had to keep asking him for it back. O sea, significa, tuve que estarlo presionando por el dinero que le había prestado. Significa que tuve que mantener pidiéndole por de vuelta, o sea, el dinero de vuelta. Can we always believe everything we read about famous people in the press? Can we always believe everything we read about famous people in the press? No, we can't always believe everything we read about famous people in the press. Do you think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people? Do you think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people?
Yeah.
Yes, I think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people. About how many steps do you have to walk from one end of this room to the other? About how many steps would you have to walk from one end of this room to the other? I'd have to take about 10 steps or 7 steps to walk from one end of this room, from one end of this room to the other. What might happen if you stepped off a bus while it was still moving? What might happen if you stepped off a bus while it was still moving? If I stepped off a bus while it was still moving, I might fall. Very good. Do you have to walk up any steps to enter this building? Do you have to walk up any steps to enter this building? No, I don't have to walk up any steps to enter this building. Would it be a big step for you to go and live in another country? Would it be a big step for you to go and live in another country? Yes. It'd be a big step for me to go and live in another country. If a couple go to a restaurant together, do you think they should each pay half the bill? If a couple go to a restaurant together, do you think they should each pay half the bill? No. If a couple go to a restaurant together, I don't think they should each pay. They should each pay half the bill. Very good. Why not? Because man is the one
is the
one who should pay.
who should pay.
Very good. El hombre el que debería pagar. Okay, good. About how much does your cell phone bill or, well, whatever, cell phone bill, yeah. About how much does your cell phone bill generally come to per month? About how much does your cell phone bill generally come to per month? My cell phone bill generally comes to for about 20,000 or 30,000 pesos? 30,000 pesos per month. Good. What happens to a bill after it has been passed by Parliament? What happens to a bill, un proyecto, after it has been passed by Parliament? After a bill has been passed by Parliament, it becomes an act. An act. Se vuelve una ley. ¿Ya? Un acto, una ley. Un proyecto aprobado por el Parlamento se vuelve una ley. Eso fue todo lo que vimos. Let's go for reading. Open your stage 6 books. Lesson 91, please. Lesson 91, stage 6 books. Lesson 91. Okay, let me drink some more, please. Excuse me. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's begin, Marie. 1, 2, 3. Tell, say. What's the most important difference between tell and say? The most important difference between tell and say is that after tell, we indicate the person we are speaking to. But after say, we usually do not. Give me an example, please. She told him that it was important. She said it was important. After the verb say, how is it possible to indicate the person we are speaking to? After the verb say, it's possible to indicate the person we are speaking to by using the word to. Next angle, for direct speech. Okay, page 483. No, como si hay suficientes páginas, termina Marie. Okay, for direct speech, which verb do we normally use, say or tell? For direct speech, we normally use the verb say. Give me an example, please. She said, I'm hungry. Angel, which of these sentences is correct? No, correct. Correct. He told me to go away, or he sent me to go away. The first sentence, he told me to go away, is correct. Reason. What are the 3 forms of rise? The 3 forms of rise are rise, rose, risen. Have you ever risen before the sun has risen? Yes, I've sometimes risen before the sun has risen. No, I've never risen before the sun has risen. Gain, transaction, degree. What's the difference between to earn and to gain? The difference between to earn and to gain is that the verb to earn generally means to receive money for work done, whereas the verb to gain generally means to get more of something. If you bought a business for £4 million and sold it later for half that amount, would you be gaining by doing so? No, if I bought a business for £4 million and sold it later for half that amount, I wouldn't be gaining by doing so. I'd be losing. How much would your loss be? My loss would be £2 million. Does your watch generally gain or lose time, or does it keep perfect time? My watch generally gains time. Very good. Next, Alex. What's the best way to gain friends? The best way to gain friends is to be nice to people. How long does it take the average student to gain a degree at university in your country? It takes the average student about 5 years to gain a degree at university in my country. As regards learning a language, would you gain anything by going to the country where it was spoken? Yes, as regards learning a language, I gained something by going to the country where it was spoken. Why? Because I'd be able to speak the language every day. Mark out of petrol, well-known trademark. Are there any marks on these walls? Yes, there are some marks on these walls. No, there aren't any marks on these walls. What kind of marks are they? They're scratching marks, etc. Who marks your dictations? I mark my dictations myself. How many marks did you get in your last English exam? I got 80, for example, 80 marks out of 100, or 95 marks out of 100 in my last English exam. Which petrol company do you think has the most well-known trademark? I think Terpel has the most well-known trademark. Next, Kevin. Base, basis, basic. What part of the book is this? It's the bottom or the base of the book. What do you consider to be the basis of a good life? I consider honesty to be the basis of a good life. Is it normal for language learners to continue making basic grammatical mistakes even though they know the rules? Yes, it's normal for language learners to continue making basic grammatical mistakes even though they know the rules. What do you think is basically the difference between your own language and English? I think that basically the difference between my own language and English is pronunciation and spelling maybe. Include. When you stayed at a hotel for one night, does the price you pay usually include breakfast? Yes, when you stay at a hotel for one night, the price you pay usually includes breakfast. No, when you stay at a hotel for one night, the price the price you pay doesn't usually include breakfast. Next, let's continue, Kevin. Brush. What do we use to clean our shoes with? We use a shoe brush to clean our shoes with. What other kinds of brushes are there? There are hair brushes, toothbrushes, paint brushes, etc. Box. Do you like to watch boxing? Yes, I like to watch boxing. No, I don't like to watch boxing. Why or why not? Marily? Type. What type of film do you watch most? No, watch. Watch most. Otra vez. What type of film do you watch most? I watch. I watch comedy, action films most. Films most. Can you type? Yes, I can type. No, I can type. How many words a minute? About 100 words a minute. Next, Angel. Previous occasion, wedding, video. Have you met me on many previous occasions? Yes, I've met you on many previous occasions. No, I haven't met you on many previous occasions. Did you have any previous experience of the Callan method before you came here? Yes, I had some previous experience of the Callan method before I came here. No, I didn't have any previous experience of the Callan method before I came here. Why do people often make videos of special occasions like weddings? People often make videos of special occasions like weddings so that they can remember them better. Next, Alex. Plan, interference. What do we mean by a street plan of a city, of a town, I'm sorry? By a street plan of a town, we mean a map showing the streets of the town and their names. Do you usually write your plans in a diary? Yes, I usually write my plans in a diary. No, I don't usually write my plans in a diary. Do you think it's a good idea for teenagers to plan their futures while still at school? Yes, I think it's a good idea for teenagers to plan their futures while still at school. No, I don't think it's a good idea for teenagers to plan their futures while still at school. Why or why not? Kevin? Do you think a young person should be allowed to plan their own future without the interference of their parents? Yes, I think a young person should be allowed to plan their own future without the interference of their parents. No, I don't think a young person should be allowed to plan their own future without the interference of their parents. Why or why not? Strange looking. Very good. You're reading like gringos. Let me see if we have a dictation. Yes, let's go for dictation. No dictation today. Let's go to new work.
Hay una pregunta, no viene ni el tema.
Yeah, tell me.
¿Qué es túnel carpiano?
Es este mismo, este huesito acá, ¿cómo se llama? Hueso no, es de cartílago, ¿qué es eso? Eso es un... Y eso se lastima de
Cuando alguien dice que tiene eso, ¿qué significa?
que
Mala postura,
mal movimiento, de pronto, el mouse.
Mala postura, más que todo.
Yeah. Okay, open your stage 7 ebooks on lesson 95. 96, page 514. Page 514. Habíamos quedado en act, o sea que un bill, un proyecto, es aprobado por el Parlamento y se vuelve una ley, un act, ¿ya? Ahora vamos a entrar a used to. Ojo, aquí es la única, no la única, perdón, es una de las excepciones donde no hacemos sonar así, used, ¿ok? Ahí no lo hagan sonar. Aquí no se dice porque quedaría mal por la T que sigue. Entonces no haces ahí, no haces fuerza, used to, ¿ya? No, aquí simplemente se come la E de used to. Used to, okay, repeat, used to. Esto es prácticamente como para hablar de un hábito en el pasado, yo solía, ¿sí? Yo solía jugar en la calle, I used to play in the street, yo solía correr y jugar tintín. I used to. Entonces yo puedo contar, when I was 5 years, when I was 10 years, I used to play in the street, knocking on the doors and escaping away. Tintín corre, corre. Okay, so let's read the explanation, please. We use the words used to for a habit or repeated action in the past, especially when the action is now finished. For example, the sentence, I used to go to the cinema every Saturday afternoon, means that I was in the habit of going to the cinema every Saturday afternoon, but not now. Entonces traducimos, usamos las palabras used to, solía, para un hábito o una acción repetida en el pasado, especialmente cuando la acción ya está terminada. O sea, ya no la hacemos más. Y cuando te, yo solía rascar la cabeza así, ya no. Por ejemplo, la frase, yo solía ir al cine cada sábado en la tarde, significa que yo estaba en el hábito o tenía el hábito de ir al cine cada sábado en la tarde, pero no ahora. ¿Sí clear? I used to. Okay, let's practice. Okay. When do we use the word used to and what does it mean? When do we use the words used to and what does it mean? We use the words used to for a habit or repeated action in the past, especially when the action is now finished. Very good. Translate this. Yo solía ir al cine mucho cuando era un niño. I used to go to the cinema a lot when I was a child. Very good. Did you used to speak English better in the past than you speak it now? Did you used to speak English better in the past than you speak it now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Did you use, solía usted hablar inglés mejor en el pasado de lo que lo habla ahora?
No.
I didn't. Okay, no, I didn't used to speak.
No,
I didn't used to speak English better in the past than I speak it now. I used to speak it worse. Very good. Okay. Did you used to eat a lot of candies when you were a child? Did you used to eat a lot of candies when you were a child? No, I didn't used to eat a lot of candies when I was a child. Next verse, repeat BC. BC, eso es before Christ, antes de Cristo, ¿sí? Pero van a ver ahorita lo interesante que no es literal porque sea el before Christ, especialmente en el, perdón, en ese sí, pero en el AD, ya vamos a ver. Repeat AD, eso significa Anno Domini, del latín, Anno Domini, el año del Señor, Anno Domini, del latín. Ahorita lo leemos bien en inglés y lo explico. Repeat Christ. Christ es Cristo. Repeat Lord, Señor. Okay, let's read the explanation. The letters BC mean before Christ. Ahí dijimos mean porque son dos letras, están plural. Si hubiera sido una sola letra, means. Pues las letras BC significan antes de Cristo. And the letters AD mean Anno Domini in Latin, meaning in the year of our Lord. Y las letras AD significan Anno Domini del latín, significando en el año de nuestro Señor. Although we usually think of this as meaning after Christ. Aunque usualmente pensamos en esto como significando después de Cristo. Are you with me, Angel? Or are you chatting?
No, perdón, está bien.
Don't get distracted, please, porque te pierdes la new explanation. Okay? Como significando después de Cristo. For example, 500 BC means 500 years before Christ, while 500 AD means 500 years after Christ. ¿Es clear? Entonces, por ejemplo, 500 BC significa 500 años antes de Cristo, mientras que 500 AD significa 500 años después de Cristo, pero el literal significado es Anno Domini, en el año de nuestro Señor. ¿Es clear? Pero se entiende como después de Cristo. Look at me, please. What do the letters BC mean? What do the letters BC mean? The letters BC mean before Christ. What do the letters AD mean? What do the letters AD mean? The letters AD mean Anno Domini, Domini from the Latin, meaning after Christ, or in the year of our Lord after Christ. Next word, page 515, repeat trial. Okay, esto también es prueba, pero es lo que llaman el periodo como estuvo Johnny Depp. Él estaba en trial. No es el juicio ya condenatorio, ¿sí? Sino que es el, ¿cómo se dice? Sí, el juicio. Está yendo a la corte a las sentencias o las, ¿cómo se dice eso? A las audiencias, ¿sí? Entonces sí está en juicio, es un trial. Ah, pero ya fue sentenciado, no está en el juicio, ¿sí? Ok, entonces trial. Pero también es una prueba, el Señor nos pone en pruebas, trial, pasando muchas pruebas, trials. Haga la prueba gratis, ponen en internet, creo. Have a trial for free, or a 30 free trial, 30-day free trial.
Juicio prueba.
See, okay. Look at me, please. When someone is on trial, do they have to promise to tell the truth in court? When someone is on trial, do they have to promise to tell the truth in court? Yes, when someone is on trial, they have to promise to tell the truth in court. Tienen que prometer decir la verdad en la corte. Is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial? Is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial? ¿Es sabio juzgar algo antes de darle una probadita? No, it isn't wise to judge something before we give it a trial. A trial. Okay. Next word, repeat introduce. Introducir o presentar. Yo se puede usar, meter algo sin introducir, pero lo usan mucho para, Marley, I want to introduce you to my friend. Quiero introducirte a mi amigo, o sea, presentarte a mi amigo. Y suelen hacer, okay, I want to introduce my friend. Kevin, this is Marley. Marley, this is Kevin. Esa es la forma más común de introducir a alguien, de presentar a alguien. Alex, this is Alex. Okay. Repeat from abroad. Recuerden, tengan la M con la vocal. From abroad. Very good. De afuera, del exterior. Oye, ese man es del exterior, es del extranjero. From abroad. ¿De dónde traen esos productos? From abroad. ¿Usted trajo esa bicicleta de aquí? ¿La compró en el local o from abroad? ¿Ya? De afuera, del exterior. Okay, look at me, please. What did you like? Look at me. What did you like to see introduced into your country from abroad, Angel? What did you like to see introduced in your country from abroad? I'd like to see technology or bicycles, cars. Oh yeah, Walmart introduced into my country from abroad. Yes, Walmart. It's a good one. Okay, next, lesson 97, please. Lesson 97. Repeat, not either. Esto es para decir tampoco. ¿Ya? O sea, es cuando ven, porque habíamos visto, sorry, vimos primero por allá atrás, vimos neither nor, ¿cierto? Ni. Ese es fácil, vimos fácil. No, el primero que vimos fue either or. ¿Se acuerdan? Either or, ya sea que, if he wants to eat something, where must he go? If he wants to eat something, he must go either at home or to a restaurant. Remember? Ya sea, ese es either or. Luego vimos neither nor, ni. El primer ni de ellos es neither y el resto es nor. Ni lo uno ni lo otro. El primer ni, neither this, nor. Y ahorita aquí es cuando ven en la frase el not y después el either está indicando tampoco. Entonces vamos a leer la explicación.
Entonces, not either es.
Tampoco. Okay, not either. Okay, let's read. Do you have an explanation there?
Yes.
We generally use the words also, as well, and to in positive sentences. But in negative sentences, we use not either. For example, we say, I like fish and I like meat too. But in the negative, we say, I don't like fish and I don't like meat either. Or we say, I have a sister and David has one as well. But in the negative, we say, I don't have a sister and David doesn't have one either. Entonces traducimos. Generalmente usamos las palabras también y también. Okay. Also, as well, and to, en frases positivas. Pero en frases negativas usamos not either. Por ejemplo, nosotros decimos, a mí me gusta el pescado y a mí me gusta la carne también. Esa es positiva. Pero en el negativo decimos, a mí no me gusta el pescado y tampoco me gusta la carne, ¿sí? And I don't like meat either. Tienen que meterlo al final, ¿ya? And I don't like meat either. Pero, y tampoco me gusta la carne, ¿sí? O decimos, yo tengo una hermana y David tiene una también. Pero en el negativo decimos, yo no tengo una hermana y David tampoco tiene una. ¿Ya? ¿Es claro? O sea, la clave está en ver el does, el not, por ahí en la mitad. Doesn't es does not have one either. Not either, para indicar tampoco. Cuando quieran decir yo tampoco, simplemente digan me neither. Me neither. Yo tampoco. Yeah, but it's still not. Me neither. No, separado. Me neither. Yo tampoco. Me neither. Okay, let's practice those sentences. Look at me, please. What can we use? I'm sorry. Can we use the words also, as well, and to in negative sentences? Can we use the words also, as well, and to in negative sentences? No. We can't use the words also, as well, and to in negative sentences. Which word do we use instead? Look at me, please, Miley. I'm distracted. Which word do we use instead? We use the word either instead. Either instead. Translate this, please. Él no ve televisión o escucha la radio tampoco. He doesn't watch TV or listen to the radio either. Either. Do you live in the school? No, I don't live in this school. Do the other students live in the school? No, the other students don't live in this school either. ¿Ya? No, ahí le pregunté, ¿usted vive en esta escuela? No, yo vivo en esta escuela. Ahí le pregunté, ¿los otros estudiantes viven en esta escuela? No, los otros estudiantes tampoco viven en esta escuela. No, the other students don't live in this school either. Can you speak Chinese? Can you speak Chinese? No, I can't speak Chinese. Can you speak Japanese? No, para ti mismo. Can you speak Japanese? Can you speak Japanese? No, I can't speak Japanese either. Good. No, yo tampoco puedo japonés. Will you come here next Saturday? Will you come here next Saturday? No, I won't come here next Saturday. Will you come here next Sunday? Will you come here next Sunday? No, I won't come here next Sunday either. Yes, clear? Good, perfect. You're very intelligent. Okay, next word, definitely. Definitivamente. Definitely. Definitivamente es como una forma de asegurar algo. O sea, no, definitivamente voy a hacer esto. Definitely. Definitely, yeah, definitivamente. Por cierto, por seguro, definitely. Okay, tell me something that you know you'll definitely do next weekend. Tell me something that you know you'll definitely do next weekend. I know that I'll definitely rest or go for a walk.
Go for a
Walk next weekend. Next word will be adventure.
Adventure.
Adventure is Would you like, look at me. Would you like to live a life of adventure? Would you like to live a life of adventure?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to live a life of adventure. A life of adventure. Very good. Why? Because I love adventures. Because I love action. Because I love adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline.
Yeah, pure adrenaline. Okay, good. Next word. This how is it called that one? Need for speed. Need for speed. No speed. Need for speed. Okay, repeat seed. Seed. Semilla. Semilla. What does a seed need to grow in a garden? What does a seed need to grow in a garden? A seed needs water and sun to grow in a garden. In a garden. ¿Qué necesita una semilla para crecer en un jardín? Yeah, a seed needs water and sun to grow in a garden. Next word, present continuous for the future.
Present continuous for the future.
Presentamos a un presente continuo para el futuro. Ya vimos que el presente continuo, yo estoy comiendo. Esto lo vamos a ver para el futuro. Repeat, arrange. Arrange es arreglar. I will arrange everything. Yo voy a organizar todo. Yo arreglaré todo. I will arrange everything for the event, para el evento. Make an arrangement. Hacer arreglos, sí, preparativos. So, Alex, could you please make some arrangement for this event, please? Yeah, I'll make some arrangements. Yeah, haré unos arreglos. Okay. Let's read the explanation. As we know, we used to be going to communicate a future intention. For example, the sentence, we're going to go to the theater, suggests that we have already decided to go to the theater. It is our intention to go. However, we can also use the present continuous and say, we're going to the theater. If we want to communicate that the visit has already been arranged. We have already bought the tickets, for example. Ahí está la diferencia, vamos a traducirla. Como ya sabemos, usamos to be going to para comunicar una intención futura. Por ejemplo, la frase, vamos a ir al teatro. Sugiere que ya hemos decidido ir al teatro. Es nuestra intención ir. Entonces ahí decimos, we're going to go to the theater. Sin embargo, podemos también usar el presente continuo y decir, vamos a ir al teatro. We're going to the theater. Sí, estamos yendo al teatro, vamos a ir al teatro. Si queremos comunicar que la visita ya ha sido arreglada u organizada, ya hemos comprado los tiquetes, por ejemplo. ¿Is it clear the difference? Entonces, cuando tienes solo la intención, pero no se han hecho arreglos o preparativos, we're going. We're going to. Hey, we're going to Panama. We're going to this. We're going to go. I'm sorry. We're going to go. Cuando está la intención y no hay planes hechos. We're going to go to Panama. Vamos a ir. Yeah, we're going to go. Pero cuando ya has arreglado, tienes tiquetes, hey, we're going to Panama. Vamos a Panamá. You see? Sí, vamos a ir, para ellos indica, todavía no se ha comprado los tiquetes. We're going to go. We're going to go to the cinema, pero we're going to the cinema. Vamos a ir al cine. See, when? Tonight, we have the tickets. Is it clear? Okay, class is over. Let's stop it there. Démosla ahí. Stop it there. Good, you're learning English. That's good.